Welcome back, it's Melanie, your She Shed Scrapper. So today I am back with a 2-page layout using a variety of softball and baseball collections and embellishments. So I am not gonna lie, lately I have been kind of using the same papers going across my 2-page layouts, right? This one here, I chose not to, and I struggled a little bit. I wanted to use that paper on the left with the softball in the bottom left corner. I didn't have 2 of them though, and so I kind of struggled with how to blend the 2 layouts together. I used to do this all the time, and now that I kind of have gotten away from it, it was a little bit of a challenge for me. So you can see I have a ton of pictures, yeah, bought way too much softball stuff, I guess, because I think these are my last layouts from a tournament I went to last year, I believe it was. But that just means I'm going to have to go back, right? Plan another trip. So I decided to kind of have 3 smaller photos going down the center of the page on page 1. And then kind of do 2 4x6 photos on either side, and then another 4x6 photo on the very left of page 2. And then I have 2 photos going up and down in the middle, and then 2 photos, smaller photos, going lengthwise with a flip-flap over top. Part of me struggled with this kind of... oh my goodness, not design, layout. I can't even think right now. That is so sad. It's been a long day. But I have these 2 photos that I want to journal about. And they're the smaller photos, but one is landscape and one is portrait. And so I kind of struggled on how to kind of add those to this layout. With them being 2 smaller photos, I didn't think I could do a whole 12 by 12 layout with them. So I did end up adding them to a 4x6 sheet of cardstock, and then I will embellish on it. And then on the inside of that flip flap, I'll either print another photo or continue journaling in that. The photos actually are really fun. So I took a photo through the fence of a pitcher warming up, and my dad found us on TV and took a picture of the TV, and it's the same pitcher warming up, and you can see us in the background. So that's kind of what I want to journal, and I just wanted to make sure I had enough room somewhere to journal all of that. So with this layout, you can see I added that red pattern paper all the way across, and then did strips of the paper going across page 1, so it looks like that paper continues all the way across. I did mat the 2 4x6 photos on page 1, as well as all of the photos on page 2, but I didn't want to make you watch me mat all of the photos. Takes forever. And I have no tips or tricks on how to get the edges even. I just kind of cut where I feel like they are even. So I didn't want to make you watch all of that. For the 2 photos on the far right of page 2, I did use the same piece of cardstock and just made sure I left just a thin strip in between them. You can see just how that thin strip in between them separates them enough compared to how I have all 3 photos on page 1 just stacked right on top of the other. It does kind of all blend in, so I do like to leave a gap if I mat them on one sheet. Here are those 2 photos that I was talking about. Again, I just cut a 4x6 piece of white cardstock and then taped them on, and then I had some softballs stamped and cut out already. This is actually, I believe, a baseball stamp from Close to My Heart, but what I ended up doing was just using a red ink and stamping it on a really bright yellow like a softball, and I really like the way that that turned out, and so I kind of did a bunch ahead of time and then just added them to my softball embellishments. So you can see I embellished that open space on that cardstock inside that flip flap there, and then I just had to figure out how to embellish the rest. I have quite a few of these Simple Stories, Simple Pages softball embellishments, and they're kind of larger pieces, and so I did kind of struggle. I am actually going to end up adding that journaling spot underneath that photo over there, so it makes me think that I probably will print another photo. I have yet to do this, and I did this layout quite a while ago, and I'm just now getting to the voiceover. So I do need to do that. I have one in mind. We actually met Les Miles, who was the old LSU football coach. I thought this guy looked so familiar, and I took that kind of awkward selfie with my sister so that he was in the background to show my husband, and that is who it was. And so I think maybe I will print that smaller, add that to the inside of the flip flap, and then I could actually journal about that on the inside of the flip flap as well. So still not completely done with this layout, but that's kind of probably what I will end up doing. I kind of struggle with the title too. I like how that softball flows across the page. However, I will have to cut it, or I would have to cut it. And I don't use postbound. Postbound will get the layout closer together, but I use 3-ring, and it just spreads the layout out so much that I just wasn't loving the fact that I would have to cut it. I couldn't add it to page 1 because it would overlap too much of that middle photo, and I really wanted, obviously, not to cover up the person in that photo. So instead, I decided maybe I would add it to page 2 at the top. I was okay covering up the scoreboard of that one. You can see, well, maybe you can't see up close, but most of the photos are of the Alabama softball team, and specifically Montana Fouts of that Alabama softball team. I had been watching her for years at this point and knew that last year was my last chance to see her play, and so we went to the Clearwater Invitational, and that is just such a good, fun weekend of softball. If you are a softball fan, I highly recommend it. It's all kind of the best teams in the country, and just a really good, fun weekend. So most of the pictures on here are of that Alabama softball team from last year, because that is my favorite team. I definitely am a Bama softball fan. So for that bottom cluster, I decided to cross the bats, add the hat, and then use some of the stars in the Simple Pages, Simple Stories ephemera pack there. I didn't have that light blue anywhere else, but I figured if I added it in the embellishments in enough places, it would look okay. If I would have just kept it in that title, maybe the title would have looked a little out of place, but I have it in the title, I have it down in the hat, the stars. You add a color enough and kind of evenly across the page, I think that it doesn't really look out of place then. So you can see I just have so many embellishments, and they are kind of all on the larger side. So I don't know, I kind of did struggle with how to embellish, where to place them. And kind of where on the page to place them. So I did add the glove and the play ball at the top. Again, there's another piece of blue that I included at the top with that star. There is a Photoplay, I think it's the MVP softball. It does have kind of a brighter blue. There's the sticker sheet right there, actually. So that's perfect. So that, I think it's Eat Sleep Softball, that circle there, has a little bit of a darker blue, but again, it has enough, it's close enough that I felt like it was okay. So I did add that and a helmet there. Again, just so much that I just didn't know what to use. And then I found the picture, that black picture. I really liked the addition of that. It helped kind of elongate that bottom cluster there. And being solid black, that also kind of just helps stick out on that busy background paper, that softball paper there. So I did like how that fit in that cluster there. Added a glove to the little journaling spot, and then decided to add some of these softball phrase stickers kind of scattered throughout. I actually got those. I think they're Scrapbook Customs. I got that at the Great Lakes Mega Meet. And I kind of was looking at them. There are some that I could use for other sports. So I kind of was, I don't know, I was very specific with which phrase stickers I chose. I really wanted them to be softball specific for this layout. Because some of them, like I said, I could use for football, I can use for basketball. So I wanted to kind of save those because, again, I think I'm pretty much done after this layout with this softball trip. So I have quite a bit left over in embellishments and papers. So again, I'll have to just return to Clearwater. Why not, right? So I did add in that yellow, just the word fun. So the title actually is Softball Fun. But that is going to finish off this layout. I will try to find the Simple Pages, Simple Stories softball, and the Photoplay MVP softball and link those down below in case you are a softball fan or have children who play softball. But I hope you guys enjoyed this 2-page layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.